I've been really thinking about this one, and I'd love to know your thoughts on it. I don't think the Great Commission was more important than anything else Jesus said. I think we treat it like that, right? But I'm wondering why. Why do we treat it that way? Because in my mind, everything Jesus said, he said while being 100% God and 100% man, right?
Right.
So he didn't become more 100% God and 100% man after he rose from the dead. So everything he said was equally important in my mind. What are your thoughts on that? What do you think, I guess?
Okay. That's a great thought. That's a great thought. I think we label it as great because of the timing of what he said. Certainly everything that proceeds from the mouth of God is truth.
It's true, right?
So,
and I think the same, right?
Yeah.
That's why I think it's fascinating, is because I think what we wanted to do was label it for ourselves, but I think by doing so, we elevated it, right? Like, people now act like, I could tell you when I said this out loud to myself, I flinched, right? Okay. I was like, can I actually, is that really right? Like, do I really believe that? Because in our mind, because we've dubbed it something, right? It's almost like the Lord's Prayer, right?
Right.
It's almost like, all right, you got to know the Lord's Prayer as opposed to like John 17, which was Jesus actually praying, right?
Actually prayer.
Right. And so it's kind of like sometimes we put these labels on things in Scripture and kind of elevate them. And I think what it does is, in my mind, is it causes us to downplay other things that Jesus said because they're not the Great Commission, so they're not near as important.
Yeah. I think we run into the either or theology approach sometimes.
Tell me what you mean.
So our adjectives, once we say something's here, then other things have to be here.
Have to be lower, yeah.
And context, timing, some of that becomes a distinction because some things are more relevant in a given moment, right? But the value of everything that Christ has to say has to be important, right?
I agree.
It's a question about how do we appropriate it in any situation that we're in.
Yeah.
So
and
what is the greatest usage of what Christ has to say for us, and him being present moment by moment by moment.
Well, I love that part, right?
Yeah.
Because I also don't know if we would think about it that way. And I love that you did that, right? It's that some of the things Jesus says are more important to us at various parts in our lives.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's the nature of discipleship.
That's right. That's how it works, right? But
if we took him to be literally present, so that would be almost of the Great Commission. The "I will be with you always" would be the great of the Great Commission component. Is I'm not asking you to do something that I'm not going to be there with you.
And I'm not going to be there with you with.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love the Great Commission. Let me not be clear. I'm not downplaying it.
Okay.
But I am thinking that oftentimes, right, right now, if people were going to go do ministry, right, they don't usually say Luke 10:27, right? And what I actually think it causes us some challenge now that I'm going a different direction with this than I thought it would go. But I actually think it causes us some challenge because when we focus on the Great Commission as the verse to reach other people, right, then what we tend to do is focus on the preach part. Right?
Okay.
Because, go forward and teach them all the things I've observed. And so we tend to focus on that part. When I actually think Luke 10:27 and the preceding verses would actually be a better approach in my mind, right? And that's, love the Lord your God with all your heart, your mind, your soul, and your strength, to love your neighbor as yourself. And then, of course, the guy is like, well, who's my neighbor, right? And then Jesus launches in to the Good Samaritan story, right? And in my mind, that story not only tells us what we're supposed to be doing, but how we're supposed to be doing it, how we're supposed to be viewing people, other things like that. Whereas the Great Commission really places this emphasis, or we place the emphasis, on just making sure we deliver the message, not necessarily about who we're delivering it to and how and things like that.
Yeah, well, and I think in the unity of Scripture, he does exactly what you see him saying to do in the Commission. So teaching them everything that I've taught you.
Exactly,
which would be break it down for people so they can understand it. And if you need to use parables,
use parables.
Use parables in order to make it clear for them.
Well, now you're hitting on another part that I've been talking. So you've hopefully seen some of the Untangled stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so you probably know that
with envy.
Well,
I'm gonna get on there.
Well, you are on there, man. Yeah, this is it, man. And so one of the ones that has been happening a lot is people will go and they'll take like a look at a 30-second clip or a 1-minute clip or something like that, and then they will just launch into my comment section about how unsaved, heresy, what kind of stuff like that.
Okay.
And I'll say, and I'll always go back to them. I'm like, man, I would love to know what kind of world you get to live in, right? Where the Christianity you have lets you preach at people instead of to them, right? You just start telling me all kinds of things. You didn't even listen to the whole video. You don't even know really what I'm saying. Yeah. You don't know anything about me, but you know I'm a false teacher who's just trying to get more likes or something. And I'm like, yo, I don't get to live in that world with the work that I do, right? With the ministry I do. Most of the people who come to the center I run are unchurched people, never been saved, aren't in Christianity. So I don't get to kind of just preach at them. I literally have to kind of listen to them, see what they're saying, and then figure out where the gospel fits in the midst of that, right? And so instead of preaching at them, I have to preach, in my mind, to them or talk with them. And I think that a lot of times,